Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to learn how to make this lovely granny square. Let's get straight to it. For today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a really easy granny square. For today I'm going to be using 3 different colours. I'm using this pale pink, a deeper cerise colour pink, and a jade coloured blue or a turquoise. So I'm going to start the round and I'm going to use my hook with a counter. Not that you need a counter, I just really like this hook and it's my go-to at the moment. So first of all we're going to tie a slip knot. I have got a tutorial on slip knots. If you wish, I will drop it below in the description. So we tie our slip knot. There's no magic ring needed for this. However, you could use a magic ring if you prefer. We're going to yarn over and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Once we've chained 4, we're going to go into our very first loop and we are going to yarn over and pull through to join our loop together. At this point you will see that there is a circle in the middle. We're now going to chain 3 and this will be the very start of our first cluster. We're going to go inside this hole here that we've made in our circle where I'm putting my finger through, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into here now. So yarn over, let's do my hook round, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's our first double crochet and we're going to put another double crochet, so we're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so once we've got that we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to do another cluster of 3 double crochets. So we yarn over, go into our ring, draw up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're now going to do 2 more double crochets, yarn over, into the loop, pull up a ring, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Our final double crochet. So into the loop, yarn over and then into the loop, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. And there's our second double crochet cluster of 3. We're now going to chain 1 and we're going to make another set of double crochets. So yarn over, into our loop, draw up a loop, yarn over, oops, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Repeat that twice more. So yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, into the loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Hopefully you're getting this at this stage. So we yarn over, chain 1. And now we're going to do our final double crochet cluster. Yarn over, into the loop again, draw up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, into the loop, draw up a loop, whoops, so daisy, let's move my tail out of the way, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over, into the hoop, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 1, and then we're going to join into our very first chain of the row, which is our chain of 3 here that we did. So we're just going to go in the top of that loop, pull through both. At this point we can draw a bit of a loop, cut off, but you want to keep this bit. I'm going to pull that nice and tight, and then we're going to use a tapestry needle and we're going to pull through our hoop to hide. So at this stage I'm just going to get my tapestry needle and I'm going to thread my yarn through here, pull it through, and then I'm going to just disguise my ends. If you weave in your ends as you go, I find that it just makes it a lot less tedious at the end once you've completed. So we just keep on pulling through. Then what I'm going to do is give that quite a tug, cut it off, and then I'm going to fan it out, and that just conceals any ends, and then we're going to crochet over that. So I'm going to move on to my next colour now, which is this lovely cerise colour. In fact, do I think that works better, or the light one first? Do you know what? No, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go with the light one first. So for this next colour, I'm going to use the light pink colour, and I'm going to create a slip knot. So once I've created my slip knot, if I can sort of hold it like that with both my tail ends, I'll show you why shortly. I'm going to go into one of my corners where I've chained one. I'm going to pull up the working yarn but kind of hold the tail, if that makes sense. I'm trying to show you as closely as I can. There we go. Now we're going to chain 2, still holding on to the tail. And the reason I do that is so that when this turns, it turns in the right place, and then we are crocheting over our tail and just concealing it. So we're going to yarn over, go back into that first gap, draw up a loop, yarn over again, pull through 2, pull through 2, and that's another double crochet created. Draw up a loop, sorry, yarn over, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now we're just going to chain 1. We're going to go back into that same hole where we've got our cluster, yarn over, go through our hole, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and put 2 more double crochets in that same space. So draw up a loop, yarn over into the hole, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now we're not going to chain anything at this, we're going to yarn over and go into our next space after our double crochets. So this space here, yarn over, go into this gap, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the same space, draw up a loop, yarn over again, pull through 2, pull through 2 once more, yarn over into the gap, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. At this point we're now going to chain 1, and then we're going to go back into that exact same space, yarn over into the hole, draw up a loop, yarn over again, pull through 2, pull through 2 again, yarn over into the gap, draw up a loop, yarn over once more, pull through, yarn over, pull through the 2, final one, yarn over, into the loop, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. We're going to repeat what we did last time, so at this point we are not going to chain. We are going to yarn over and go through our next gap where our clusters are. We are going through that hole, yarning over, pulling through the 2, pulling through the 2. Then we're going to put 2 more double crochets in that gap. And then at the end of that we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to put 3 more double crochets in that gap also. So we're just repeating what we've done on the other 3 corners. Once this is completed, you will have 4 corners and your crochet pattern will start to look square, but it will make more sense in a moment. So we're going to yarn over, go through our next cluster, yarn over again, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over into the gap, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over into the gap, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 1. We're going to yarn over and we're going to put 3 more double crochets into that same space. There's 2 and our final one. So once we get to this point, we're now going to find the very top of our first stitch, which is here, yarn over and pull through both loops. At that point you can pull up a bit of a tail, cut off, and then we can use our embroidery needle just to go round and neaten up a little for us. So I'm just going to use my handy dandy threader and my needle. I love this threader, it is the best. I think it's called Clover and I've had it for a very long time now. As you can see, it's very, very bent and misshapen, but still works fine, and it was really, really cheap, sort of £3 or £4 I think. Absolute bargain for the amount of times that I've used it. Again, we're just going to go through our back loops of our work and we're just going to pull them through, and as we do this you'll notice that the shape takes place a bit better as well because it's just tightening it up. So by doing this you're sort of forming more square. So I know some people will just weave in the ends as they go, but I do find that you can sort of use this to manipulate your shape a little bit. So I've pulled it really tight. It looks a bit skew-off at the moment, but please bear with me, as when I fan it out it will look flat. So now you can see it's starting to look a little bit more square. So now I'm going to move on to my lovely Cerise colour, and I'm just going to again create a slip knot and I'm going to join on. This time I'm going to join on where there's not a corner. So we pull through our slip knot that we've made, turn it slightly so that your tail is here, hold it on top, and we are going to chain 2. So for this row we are going to do 3 double crochets and then create a corner, 3 double crochets and create a corner. So yarn over into your loop, draw up a loop, pull through 2, and we only need to do 2 double crochets in here because our chain 2 counts as the first double crochet of this row. We're not going to chain here we're just going to go yarn over and go straight into our corner. Oops, daisy. Yarn over, go straight into our corner, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we're going to form our corner, so we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to yarn over, go into the same gap, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and 2 further double crochets after this. There we go. And then we're not going to chain here, so we're going to just yarn over, go straight in, draw up a loop, pull through 2, and then 2 further double crochets in this section. So yarn over, through, up, pull through 2, pull through 2. Again, we're going to go into our next corner, so we're going to draw up a loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then, oops, I've slipped some of my, this yarn's a bit fluffy, so sometimes I slip with this. Yarn over into the next hole, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then at the end of this we are then going to chain 1, and then we're going to put 3 more double crochets into that same space. So once we have now formed our second corner, we're going to create another edge. So yarn over into your next space, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over into your space, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, one final double crochet. Remember, no chaining after this, so we're just going to yarn over into our next corner, yarn over, draw up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over into the gap, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, once more, and we're creating our third corner here, so we will chain 1 more, and then we're going to put 3 more double crochet clusters into this corner here right now. And then we have formed our third corner. So next, yarn over, go into our gap, draw through. Remember, no chaining after this one. We are just doing a 3 double crochet. Move on to the next one. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go into our final gap to create our final corner. And we're going to put in a double crochet, followed by another double crochet, followed by another double crochet, aka 3 double crochets, followed by a chain 1, followed by 3 more double crochets to finish this corner. Once we've finished that corner, we are going to find the very top of our chain 2 that we did, pull through a loop. You know the drill by now. We're going to cut off, and we're going to use our handy dandy tapestry needle to help join the pattern, or sorry, to help disguise our tail. And once again, thread, pull through, and then you just draw that through there. And then we are just disguising our tail. I'm really quite rough with this, but you don't need to be. You can be a bit more gentle than I am. I'm just a bit brutal. Get aggressive with the crochet, why not? So once we've done that, we can then cut off, and I'm just going to cut any straggly ends off. Get rid of those, and we're going to go to our final colour, which, what shall I use? Shall I go blue or shall I go with the light pink again? I'm not sure here. Blue, I think, maybe. Yeah, no. Let's go pink. So, create a slip knot. And we're going to go into this gap here. It doesn't matter where, to be honest, but if we just for the sake of this tutorial, so I can show you. Now, what I'm going to do, a bit of a trick, is when you've got a tail that's trying to run away from you, if you get the tail and you feed it through like there, and when you pull that tight, it kind of hides it. Ha! You will not escape me. So now we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through the gap, and we're going to put 3 double crochets in here. The pattern this row is going to be 2 lots of double crochets. I'm just going to put a stitch marker actually in this chain 3, because this pink wool is a bit strange to work with, just so that I know where I'm putting my final row. We're not going to chain 1 at the end of here. We're going to go straight into our corner, and we're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets. So let's just do that. So 3 double crochets into our corner, chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets in that corner. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we are not chaining anything. We are just going to go straight into our next one. So yarn over into the next gap. Oops, sorry, attack my camera. Pull through 2, yarn over into the next gap, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next gap. Oh my goodness me, that stitch marker is useful but rather annoying knocking on the table. So we've got our corner. Just shove that there. So we've got our corner, really, our chain 3. And then we're going to create another chain 3. I'll try and hold that off the table so I don't annoy you all to death. No, just going to annoy you, sorry. It's really annoying. I'm just going to put some wool underneath it. So at this point, we are now going to go into our next corner. So cluster of 3. 1. My plan failed. There we go. Chain 1. And then we're going to do another cluster of 3. Now it's just going to beat the camera up now, look. Oh, you noisy stitch marker, you. Maybe in future I'll get less noisy stitch markers. However, it's super cute, so I'll let it off. So, final double crochet for that one. We're not going to chain at the end of this because this is part of our corner. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put another set of double crochets in here. So a set of 3 double crochets. Move on to our next gap. Again, a set of 3 double crochets. There's 2. And 3. And now we're going to move on to our next corner. Again, not chaining, we're just going to run out of yarn. So let me show you what to do if you do run out. We can join on by doing a join on by doing a knot like so. So I'm just going to put the 2 threads together like so. And then what I like to do is pull both of them through the gap. And then literally just pull as tight as I can, both angles. And then I get these 2 tails, put them together, and I tie it. And again, I pull as tight as I can. Pull as tight as I can so I know that it's not going to come undone. And then I should be able to snip right up to the knot. And now I'm going to go into my next corner. Now I've got enough yarn to carry on. And I'm going to do a chain of 3 to make my corner. Chain 1. A cluster of 3. I'm running away from the camera. I'm ever so sorry, guys. Oh my goodness me. What it is, my camera's just decided that it wants to overheat. Never buy a GoPro. So, next we're going to yarn over, go into our gap, and we're going to do a final cluster in this one of 3. So that forms our first part like so. Then we're going to yarn over, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then we have our next cluster, and we're going to go into our final corner, yarn over, into our next gap, draw up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, into our gap, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, into your next gap, pull through 2, and then we're going to chain 1. And we're going to do 3 more double crochets. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. And if you've got this far with me, well done. You've almost completed your granny square. So now, no more chaining. We're just going to do another cluster of 3 double crochets. So yarn over, pull through, and then once we've finished our 3 double crochets, we are then going to put our hook where our stitch marker is, or through the top of your chain 2 that we did to start. Draw up a loop, cut off, pull this through at this point. So at this point we can remove our stitch marker, and then once again we're just going to take our tapestry needle and we are going to thread our yarn through this time I'm going to go through the back loop here, and I'm just going to create a little knot, and that'll help keep it together but conceal it as well. I'm going to work backwards, and I'm going to go under this back loop, under that back loop, and then thread through, and then it doesn't matter where you put the rest as long as they're sort of concealed. So I'll just, at this point you can snip off, get rid of any pesky ends, and there you have it. You have your granny square. If you're a first timer, congratulations, well done, you've achieved a granny square. It's brilliant, well done you. And if you're just learning a granny square and you've been crocheting for a while, still well done.